Welcome to the TED Ed Podcast, where we delve into the issues that shape our daily lives and drive our productivity. We confront topics that matter deeply to all of us, from healthcare and affirmative action to voting rights and monetary success and failure. We cover it all. And yes, we dive into the complex world of politics, exploring how our country has evolved from slavery to the 21st century. Our content is crafted with care and expertise, drawing from years of experience in these critical areas. We invite you to give the TED Ed podcast a listen. You won't be disappointed. Share your thoughts with friends and confidants, and don't forget to like, comment, and share our episodes. Your engagement helps us grow and reach more listeners. Are you passionate about these topics? Do you have unique insights to share? You could be one of our guest speakers. Drop us a line, send an email, or leave a comment. All requests will be considered. Join us on this journey of exploration and understanding. This is the TED Ed Podcast. Thank you, and enjoy the show.
Absolutely. We got some stuff here. I don't know what's going to happen, but we're going to have a beautiful hour here. Ah, man. It is Labor Day. Today is September 1, Labor Day. And again, this morning, I got my emails from our union folks talking about celebrating Labor Day and this. We not celebrating the past, we celebrate the future. I said, oh my God, these folks and stuff, they coming out of left field from everywhere. And then at the bottom of the page, they give up, we want $10 or $20 or $50.
Yeah, the union is what, less than 10% now across the country. 50 years ago,
They
it was
need some
35.
money. They give us some money. So I did my usual. I hit file 9, threw it right in the trash can. Trash. Yeah, you can't get any money from your members and stuff for losing their jobs. Yeah, people and stuff, Ted, and we are realizing that even my wife is realizing it and stuff now that these media folks, man, are creating a space and everything for this man to live in. Now, Trump has threatened these blue cities, Chicago. They're coming into Chicago, and he said we're gonna come in Chicago. And I guess yesterday they put the news out that there was 50 some deaths, shootings and stuff that went on there in Chicago over the weekend. But
This
they put
past weekend?
this past weekend. That's in the news. Might pull it up. She showed it to me. This is 50 some deaths in Chicago. But
Somebody
she went
somebody going around getting paid, man, to shoot these
she
people.
went and on to Google and asked how many people died in New Orleans this past weekend. Two,
Two people?
two people. She hit St. Louis. How many people died in St. Louis? And they were like 14 to 15. It was a black city. But she hit Memphis and asked them again, oh, well, where's only two people died here? Because they have a white mayor and a white governor, and it is in the southern states. So anything below the Mason-Dixie line and stuff and everything, they only got two deaths. And Google is sitting there holding us hostage and stuff, allowing Donald Trump to use some statistics there in Chicago and everything to be able to go to send his troops there.
Well, wasn't the original reason why they used the troops because they wanted to get the
He,
undocumented people out of there? Was that was the
he's
reason?
he's
And now it's
using
crime.
he's using false statistics and stuff, and he's gotten Google to even help them to use those false certificates, those algorithms and stuff and everything that allow people to go out and do research and find out that these blue cities and stuff and everything got a whole lot of depths and stuff in them, and that's why you got to go there. And you can't find anything on Google and stuff to say anything about anything other than that. You know, Google is our research. So I think we need to start doing something about finding out and stuff what's going on in some of these cities in the South. Because if you talk to people who live in these cities and stuff, they will tell you people are dying like all get out. There are people being killed. 10 to 12 people every day are being killed in these cities and stuff in the South. And they are not reporting this stuff. It is going underreported or not being reported at all. And the federal government doesn't allow them to do that because the FBI is responsible for pulling in that data. So if they're responsible for pulling in that data and stuff, all he has to do is say, hey, I need data and stuff to say that I have the authority to go to Chicago, and that's what they're giving him. They're giving him the information and putting it out there to the people and stuff to show that he's justified for going to Chicago or wherever city he wants to go to. There's a conspiracy going on there, Ted.
We know.
Bad one going on.
This is what they do.
We have to figure out a way how to counteract this stuff and everything. And some of these news folks out there need to figure out what's going on too. They don't see it yet. Well, we have not seen our president since Wednesday. Everybody's wondering where in the hell he's at.
He's probably somewhere getting an IV.
Ben say he's sick. He's somewhere sick. He say he keeps telling everybody he's sick. He had about 3 shows on today. He's sick, and we can't find him. And they're putting out all these pictures and stuff and everything of him when he was in his 40s and 50s and stuff. And they say, there he is, and that ain't him. It is him, but those are old pictures and stuff, 20-some, 30-some years ago. So Ben thinks that there's something wrong with him, and you may be right. He might be getting his IVs. They're juicing him back up. And I know you looked at the numbers and stuff and Ted that's coming out. They got all of the thing. We done got, depending on which news agency you look at that's coming out, it's between 10 to 15 trillion dollars that Trump has bought in on these tariffs.
Is that all?
That's it. He said he done bought between 10 and 15 trillion dollars. Trillion dollars. Yeah. Look out. It's 10 to 15 trillion dollars that he brought in through the tariffs. And he has created over 500 and some thousand new jobs.
We are currently
putting it out.
fascist state.
They're putting this stuff out there, and they want people to believe this crap. They're doing this. I don't. And they said grocery prices is at its lowest point that it's ever been. This is the stuff that they putting out so people can see. Oh my goodness. I couldn't believe what they said. And most of the people who saw it said the same thing. All this is a lie, people. None of this shit is happening. If he done brought in $15 trillion, that debt should have been going down instead of going up. If he brought that kind of money in, it doesn't make any sense. Any rational people can look at those numbers and stuff and say, no, that ain't true. They should have at least tried to stay close to the number that they bringing in, but they just exaggerating stuff. Exaggeration is just overwhelming.
I think he got a lot of corporations to pledge money. Ain't no money coming in now. It's just pledging what they say they're going to invest.
Well, they better hurry up and start doing something because the dollar is becoming weaker and weaker out there on the open market. It's becoming weaker on the open market. People are not trusting outside this country anyway. They aren't trusting the dollar, and they are not very eager to buy our debt. Plus, conservatively, Ted, our interest payments and stuff this year is probably going to reach 1 point some trillion
Yep,
just in interest
that's
to
right.
cover our debt, just in interest payments. We ain't talking about the principal. We talking about just the interest.
I think we paid something like pretty close to $700 billion last year.
Well, that's 1.2 trillion. They said this year. Estimate 1.2 trillion.
Somebody made a lot of money.
They're making a lot of money, but they're not buying their debt anymore because even though the interest is going up for their debt, most people don't want to buy this stuff and everything because it might become worthless. This thing that is going on, Ted, is starting to affect these red states real bad. In Trump's first term, he had some program going on where 80% of that money that he had to go to build new homes and stuff went into these red states. They had buku amount of money that they were giving them. Well, this time um, he cut that program out. He ain't giving them a damn. He giving them not doodly squat. Some of these folks' hospitals and stuff, they already predicting now that some of them, if they haven't already closed, they will be closing in the near future in these red states.
That's a lot of jobs going to be gone.
A lot of jobs. A lot of
Stable
jobs.
jobs.
A lot of jobs. Our good friend up north, Mark Carney, had was getting ready to give the United States a contract for $20 billion to build some submarines for them. Canceled the contract. Said they're going to build those submarines in Canada in their shipyard.
Mm,
Put their people back to work. The Pentagon is having a fit.
mm.
They was looking for that $20 billion and stuff and everything. So, matter of fact, they've already bought some of these companies that they have lined up. They've already started buying the raw materials for these submarines. They're predicting that in Ohio and some parts of Pennsylvania and stuff who depended upon this money, that they could be somewhere near 50 to 75,000 people and stuff and that thing who are going to be unemployed here in just a little bit. And that's a conservative estimate.
Well, it's happening.
It's happening. It's happening. These other countries, man, they taking that stuff back. They cutting out contracts. They India done told Trump to kiss they behind. They over in China now, in Shanghai, playing tiddlywinks with Xi Jinping. And Trump done called him at least 4 or 5 times. Modi, the prime minister, he ain't answered the call.
They had it all on TV last night. They're having their little powwow.
Yeah, they over there. They over there sitting down there now. They even had a picture of Modi and Putin holding hands walking
Yeah.
to a meeting. They were holding hands walking to a meeting with Xi Jinping,
All they
and
do, they just showing out, bro. They just telling Trump,
they
kiss
showing out.
my booty poop.
They showing out, and and all of them are sitting around the table. There's 20, 23, almost 30 of them sitting around there from different countries and stuff. They're leaders, and they all laughing and joking.
Yeah.
And most of them are saying Trump ain't here. The meeting is here in Shanghai, in China, and Joshi is just smiling like a chess cat. He said, he told Dollar, "You ain't the number one country in the world no more, brother."
Well, he sit up here. He done destroyed this country. I mean, he brought more division than ever before. You know, I was just reading an article, half reading, and I didn't read it all. They just put a bunch of children on a plane from Guatemala, sending them back, and the judge stopped them.
If she hadn't, they'd have sent these kids to Guatemala, 600 of them. They put these kids on the
Just took
plane,
them from their parents.
their parents, and put them on a plane in the middle of the night. In the middle of the night, they were getting ready to steal those kids in the middle of the night, and somebody called and told some uh, law firm and stuff and everything that they knew that that's what they were doing, and they got an emergency order and stuff and everything from a judge and stuff at early in the morning, and she had to pass down a ruling and stuff right then. When she found out that the kids were already on the plane and they were getting ready to take off, she set out an emergency ruling. Stop them. They took these kids.
This is sad, bro. This is sad.
It's sad. I mean, took these children and were taking them, sending them to Guatemala. Load them all up, send them there. Hell of a country we got. Hell of a country we got.
American people don't care, bro.
Hell of a country. There are people who care and stuff, but they don't. I guess most of them act like they don't. They just come to these meetings with their representative if they have one, because a lot of them are not even having meetings and stuff. And when they do come to the meetings, the people are sitting there shouting and screaming at them. So these representatives, fellow representatives, said, "Forget y'all. We ain't doing a meeting with y'all no more. Forget that. We gonna go back and Trump is the man." They asking them, "Why are you allowing this man to do this?" And they keep telling their constituents, he's a president. We supposed to do it. We follow him. Uh, the Senate has called RFK Jr. for Thursday. He got to come before the Senate committee for Thursday. The Democrats is calling for his resignation.
They just do what they want to do, man. I mean, all them CDC people gone.
They
They know it's
sure,
gonna be
yeah,
it's gonna be some stuff going on, bro.
yeah. They try to embarrass the Democrats. All they was in this committee and stuff before they put him before the full vote of the Senate, and and the Democrats to the person and stuff told him this man is not qualified for this job. He's not qualified. And they sat before there, and their chairman and stuff was a Republican and stuff and everything. After all the Democrats said everything they had to say, all right, let's have a vote. And every last one of them Republicans and stuff said, "Yep, yep, yep, we gonna vote him in." And now, since he done came up there and he done created all this mass confusion that the CDC and all this other stuff, they're trying to call him back and asking him to resign.
The
But
Republicans.
now, well, it's mostly the Democrats is doing that. They convinced them to a couple of the Republicans and stuff be on their side, so they had to call him back because there were some Republicans and everything just looking at what the heck he's done. But will they force him to resign? I have no idea, and they don't either. But the Democrats is united to have him to resign because he done took the CDC, man, and just tore it up, and they ain't liking that at all. I don't blame them. Those people are there to protect us against these infectious diseases, and he just tore the place up. And
Tore it
Trump
up, bro.
and said anything about it. He said, "Yeah, go ahead and do it. Tear him up." So he has no reason to resign unless the Senate and stuff has some kind of a power that I don't know about to force him to resign. And they knew
Because
he was.
they can't fire nobody.
They can't, but they can put some enough pressure on him and everything to make him put him on the spotlight enough and everything to where Trump will consider him to be a liability and everything and say, "Hey man, you need to go ahead and step down. We're gonna put somebody else in your job." They can do that, but do they have enough people to do that, and do they have the fortitude and stuff to get it done? Because all of them who's sitting there on this damn committee and stuff who put him in the office into that thing, those guys are still there. They haven't changed. They still there. Only
Well,
thing
you
is,
know, the thing is what they were laughing at up in China is that you hear what he just said? He wants 600,000 of my people come over there and get educated so he can get his little resource material that they need for the stuff they need to build on. And that's the deal. And Trump is allowing 600,000 Chinese people to come here to go to our schools.
well, we don't know for sure if that's going to happen because he had changed his mind overnight. If somebody says something to him, he can change his mind. Oh no, we ain't allowing him to come here. Because China really listening, listen to some of those Chinese news people and stuff. They don't believe him. They don't believe him. He's changed his mind too much. They said we don't believe him. He said it, but we don't believe him. That's Taco.
Uh,
I think my internet went out, man. But
yeah,
something went out.
yeah, it did.
Yes, my internet went out. I have no idea why, but it just went out.
They messing
Uh,
with you, bro. We talking too serious.
yeah, I guess they must be doing something because uh, I
They heard the
have
word China,
I have a
and
whole lot
maybe
of
taco is a key word. I don't
I
know.
have fiber optic here, and why this thing is going out, I have no idea. I don't know what's going on here because this is for the last 3 or 4 shows, man. The internet has went out. I don't know why it's just going out.
Well,
I
when you say just I'm gonna switch gears there real quick. There's a big stink right now that's going on that these Democrats are paying people $10,000 a month to put out progressive information. So if you are a progressive Democrat, there are people out there, billionaires, that is paying people to put information out there and talk about Democrat things, especially if you got a large following. And the Republicans is upset now, and they've been doing it for years. So there's a big stink now, and then those people, they're even getting on Roland Martin because he's accepting monies too, and he's supposed to be a news organization.
mm,
So now you got these black folks that's they might get 3 million, 3,000, 5,000 people listen to them. They upset because They call it now the Democrats is sold out. And I'm saying to myself, I say, man, what is wrong with y'all? Number one, you got an idea that we shouldn't even vote. Because you saying both parties suck. Yeah, that might be true. But I'm going to vote my best interest, which is Democrat. Because the Republicans don't give a shit about nobody. And I'm just trying to figure out, some of these, and I'll just say it straight out, some of these black guys that's out there that's very, they're not militant, but they just done with the system. And which I don't blame them, yeah, we all done, pretty much upset with the system because, we got all kind of issues in our community. But half of over 70% of that stuff is not our fault. We don't make drugs. We don't grow drugs. We don't make guns. So, we might have some gang bangers and a few thieves and just like everybody else. But the point is that when you just deliberately sabotage a community all over the country, you get a little 16, 17-year-old say, hey, we got some free guns over there. Go on and get you some. You want to buy this kilo? I'll give it to you 50% off.
Mm.
And then these pills, man, is really killing people. They probably buying 100 pounds for whatever. And people want money.
Mm-hmm.
So, and just like, the rural community, I'm talking about those people in Appalachia and all those different rural areas, they got them full of pills.
Well, I know you have heard that in some of those communities and stuff that you just talked about and whatever, that that Walmart is closing them stores down there in those areas.
Walmart
Quietly,
closing their stores down?
they're closing stores down. Quietly closing stores down in those areas and stuff out there in those red states. Closing stores down, sending their employees and stuff home.
Wow.
They told Trump it's going to happen, and he didn't believe them.
Well, in a radius of about 10 miles, 15 miles, we got like five Walmarts.
Hmm. So they're closing some of them down. They're sending their people home. The stores are closing down. They don't have enough inventory to keep them going.
Where's the hoop and holler about that?
These folks are out there in these rural areas, Ted, and they don't have access to their representatives, so people aren't saying anything, and they're just sitting out there. They don't have no news people out there. They don't have no newspapers out there. They don't have no digital news or whatever. They just doing whatever. You know how them folks did. Man, do you know that 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 the hurricane or that rain and stuff hit North Carolina up in them hills, up in them mountains up in there? Some of them people, man, roads is still screwed up. They can't get in and out of their roads. They still screwed up. Their houses not having even been rebuilt. So guess what they're doing? They just
What?
sitting out there on their land, building some little huts and stuff and everything, and feeding off the land, going out there. So well, we gonna feed off the land. We go out there and hunt squirrel and rabbits and stuff and everything, and plant us a
Damn.
little garden. Keep on going. You know, reverted back to their parents' days in the 20th century, early 20th century. What
Well,
they doing?
did you see St. Louis?
Nope. But
Devastated, bro.
I know it's messed up, but then and have nobody do anything about it. And you're not hearing a whole lot on the news about it. Nobody going
No,
over
that's
there.
what I'm saying. That's what I was talking to my wife about. I said, these people, these news people ain't worth a shit.
They ain't worth nothing. They're not even going over there saying anything about it. They're not going over there and interviewing nobody and put it on the air. None of it.
They're scared of being sued. That's what it is.
Well, they've had, they said, I think 50 or 60 FEMA workers and stuff and everything have resigned from FEMA. And they out there trying to get the news media and stuff and everything to open up and tell people what the hell's going on and why they are leaving FEMA. And nobody is sitting there interviewing them, asking them questions. They're not saying a word.
It ain't even worth looking at the news no more.
There's no way. As a matter of fact, there was a little blimp in one of the medias out there about them resigning and that they were getting ready to come forth and tell their story and stuff why they left FEMA. But nobody has brought them forth and everything and said anything.
What do
They
you
resigned.
think? What do you think is going to happen when he bring those ICE people full range and then the military to Chicago? Now I saw the mayor sign all of these executive orders. I guess he's telling the police not to even assist them.
And the governor's right in there with him. I don't
So
I don't believe he's going to send those people to Chicago because of the resistance that he knows that's going to happen. He's not going to send them there. I don't believe he's going to do it. I think all this is just bluster on his part. He's trying to open that door and everything so he can get there without a whole lot of rigmarole and everything that's coming. But he's got a lot of backlash. He's got that governor sitting there. He's got all those civic groups and stuff there in Chicago saying you do not bring them butts here. He's got the governor and stuff saying I'm going to tell my National Guard and stuff and everything that you can't come there and do that. So he's got a lot of resistance for him going to the city of Chicago. A lot of resistance, not like he had in there in California and when he went to Los Angeles, whereas Mayor Bass and stuff and everything didn't see all this stuff coming because she had all those other things going on there. People were fighting, man, to get their homes back together. They have a huge, huge homeless population and stuff there and everything. And man, and she was at her weakest point and stuff at that time when he came there. So she didn't have enough to fight him with. And with DC, uh, Mary Bowser and stuff and everything, really, she doesn't have a lot of fight either because the government actually gives them their budget. So she didn't have a whole lot to say either. But Chicago does. New York does. Los Angeles would have had it. You just got to fight that son of a gun. You got to keep fighting. I don't believe that they're going to send him there. I'll be totally surprised if he can muster up some folks and send them there. Because I think it's going to be a big mess. You don't want all that stuff going on right now anyway. You can't afford it. But news people picked it up, and his folks are still saying it. So long as they keep saying it, they put out a threat out there.
mm,
So I'll be very surprised if I see him go there because they got some resistance going on. Just like you said, the mayor's is putting out all these executive orders and stuff, telling them what they can and they can't have, telling their police they'll not even work with them and everything. So uh, if they come there, they're going to be their own police force and everything is going to be against them. So they're going to be just like an occupying army or something like that, and the police is not helping them at all. And they need their local resources and everything to do some things there. They got to have a place to house these guys and stuff when they come. They got to have some kind of a mechanism and stuff where they can log in to their communication system and everything. They ain't allowing that stuff to happen. You can't log into our shit. You got to bring your own. And You're not wanted here. You're not. They're not going to be able to get the local police force to come out there to help them, give them anything at all. We'll see. We shall see. See what happens. I will be totally surprised if they go there. But knowing Trump and stuff and thing, he'll he does crazy stuff. So I don't know. Now with this thing that the U.S. Appeals Court did and stuff for his tariff, it's I think he's got his plate is full. His plate is full. They got a lot of lawsuits, man, that's coming up before the Supreme Court here in just a little bit. This thing with this tariff stuff and everything, sent him for a loop. Because if he loses that case before the Supreme Court and everything, man, he loses a lot of leverage. A lot of leverage that he won. That tariff stuff and everything was giving him a lot of leverage. But it's also alienated him from a lot of countries also. And Canada, man, is wreaking havoc and stuff with him, man. Mark Carney is wreaking havoc with him. I mean, he is creating all kinds of havoc with him. He's hurting a lot of those states and stuff that borders Canada.
You know,
that
he threatened Mexico to bring military inside of Mexico to get rid of the cartel.
he ain't came though. He ain't came there. He ain't came there. He can say what he wanted though. He didn't go. He didn't go there. He did not go there. And he talked all that old big stuff and everything, but he did not go. So he man, Canada is Mexico is hurting us, but Canada is really hurting us. They really hurting us real bad. I mean, they hurting us real bad. They cut that damn pipeline and stuff. The oil pipeline that's coming out of Canada into going all the way down to New Orleans. They cut that shit off a long time ago. That stuff has hurt us in our oil production. It has hurt us real bad. They don't have to. They have spent at least 4 or 5 months and stuff trying to retool their production and stuff and everything in these plants and stuff to handle the American oil that's coming in. They love that dirty oil that came from Canada. They tool they plant to do it, and now it's taking them some time to retool that plant to handle that clean oil that comes out of the United States.
Mm.
It's hurting real bad. Now, since China and stuff, they keep messing with them about them rare earths and everything, and our armament plants and stuff, man, is that we're seeing. They don't know what they can do. They're not getting the raw materials they need from China to produce their weaponry. Nobody's saying anything about it, but the people outside this country know what they're going on. They ain't getting it. They're not getting it. Now we got some of the resources here in our country. We got it, but it takes them at least another 5 or 6 years before they get these plants up and running. And they don't even have the technology and everything to produce to get these raw materials out into a purified form so we can use it.
Well, you know, we got about 15 minutes. Let me just say this. You know, Ed, I'm gonna see what you think about this. We have so many sales in this country, you know, to really downgrade and bring division in this country, and they all coming from different ways. Different ways they're coming. America is probably, ain't no question about it, the greatest country in the world. And one thing that brought us together was being united and coming together. However, when you're talking about capitalism, capitalism is all about profit. It's all about what did you do this quarter. In order for these people to keep making money, these CEOs, they want to make their 20, 30, 40, $50 million a year. And then at the same time, they want to make sure that the investors make their money. So they do everything they can to try to keep that going by any means necessary. Because if they don't, they lose out. That's the reason why you see all of these mergers. That's why you always see these buyouts. And so we know that there have been people that come over here. Like I said, we got over 50 million people plus another 50 million, 100, really another 100 million, 150 to 200 million people that are people that just got off the boat. And those people are scrambling for jobs and starting their own businesses. And rightfully so, if that's what they want to do. However, when it all boils down, is that those small major corporations are the ones that's really making the money. Billions of dollars. You got in Nivea making something ridiculous this quarter. I forget what it was. It's in the 40, $50 billion this quarter.
Look at this next quarter and see what happens to them.
Huh?
Wait until this next quarter and see what happens to them.
Yeah.
They're going to go down. They're not going to make as much money this next quarter.
But what I'm saying is that you got all of these major corporations, and they did a whole spread thing on that, billions of dollars this quarter, a lot of them. And this right here is money in their pockets.
Now, look back about 3 weeks ago, NVIDIA and stuff asked Donald Trump to allow them to sell their chips and stuff because he cut off the chip sale and stuff to China. If you go back about 2 or 3 weeks, maybe even 4 weeks and stuff, NVIDIA's president and stuff, the CEO, asked Trump to allow his company, NVIDIA and stuff, to sell the chips to China because they needed those sales. And he finally said, yeah, you can go ahead and sell those chips to China and stuff because he was trying to negotiate with them. Well, China told NVIDIA, we don't want your chips no more. They lost almost $50 billion in sales to China. $50 billion in sales because they told them, we don't want your chips. We done made our own. They're going to be hurting this next quarter. But I'm going to tell you something, Ted, that we probably know about, and I think everybody in this country should know about. We have enough resources and raw materials or whatever that all this stuff that went on with China and all that other stuff should have never happened. Shouldn't have never happened because we became too dependent upon them to take care of what we import into our country. Even the car manufacturers and stuff and everything. I understand that stuff why they did what they did. Everybody had a little piece of the pie and everything, but when everybody get a piece of that pie, then if one piece of that pie and stuff goes away and you don't have any backup to support it, you're in trouble. We put too much, our companies depended too much on folks outside this country that they didn't have no control over. These car manufacturers, they depended too much on what went outside this country. And even our armament plants and stuff depends too much. Our planes, Boeing, Lockheed, all of them depended too much upon outside people instead of having a secondary source. We've always, when I was coming into manufacturing, we always had a secondary source. They threw them secondary sources away just in case something happened. They just forget them secondary sources. We're gonna have this one source, and that's it. We're gonna keep going, and they were making money, so everything was fine. But now that when they need the secondary source, it's not there. So they're shutting down these plants. People are losing their jobs. We got them stuff, just like the raw materials that they trying to get from China and stuff and everything. It's here in the ground. They can't do anything with it because they stopped building these plants. They said, well, it costs us too much. We're not going to keep on doing it. Now they're throwing money, billions of dollars at it. Biden threw some money at it. Now Trump is throwing money at it. He's giving money to these people to get these plants up and going. But they're looking at 4 or 5 years down the road before they even get nowhere near doing that. And they can't survive in 4 or 5 years. We're going to be dead.
Well, I think I just said it earlier. The reason we already know that the reason why they did that and why they do it because they get, the reason why they depend on other people in the country. They was trying. Now, initially, this is what they was trying to do some years ago, is to try to capitalize or make capitalists out of the whole world. And a lot of these countries are not. They wasn't feeling that.
Mm-hmm.
Even though to a certain degree capitalism does sustain a lot of people. However, these people, because they have allowed these dictators to take over their country, this is where we are now. And they decided that, hey, we're not going to be placating you no more. And then you use our people and you come in there with your corporations and build these plants over here and get that cheap labor and make a profit.
And then you became arrogant and stuff with them, and you became too arrogant. You can't if your hands in the lion's mouth. And my parents always told me, if your hands in the lion's mouth, you better walk easy.
Yeah.
You don't sit down there and slap the lion and stuff, and your hand is in his mouth. Because he can bite it off.
So they're telling them what they're telling them is that you need us more than we need you.
Yes,
really,
sir.
we
You
need
got
them
your
more than they
hand
need us.
in that lion's mouth, and then you're gonna turn around there and slap him upside the head. He gonna bite you. But even us, Ted, I'm looking back at me and everybody else I know out there. We always, when you went shopping and stuff at the store, you had an alternate supplier just in case that store didn't have what you needed. And you go to the next store because they might have it. That's why you got your Walmart and you had your Kmart stores and stuff out there and everything because they competed against each other and everything. And you can make sure that both of them, I go to Kmart one time and I go to Walmart the next time, or I go to Sam's Club this time and I go to Costco this next time because I want to keep them competing and everything. So I got me an alternate source of a product that I might need. America lost that idea. We do it all the time, every day. We go to a different gas station. Let them go to the gas station, go to this gas station down across the street and everything, so they can keep them gas stations going. They're competing. I'm gonna get a good price. We lost that edge. We quit thinking about that. We don't think about that anymore. We do as ordinary citizens. We know we gotta keep this stuff going, and you can't let Walmart become dominant and stuff, and they be the only store in the area because if they the only store in the area that you can go to, they're gonna jack their prices up.
Hey, since I've been here, there's been 6 grocery chains that closed down, bro.
Mm-hmm. You got to keep them
Walmart
open.
wiped them all out.
But the community has to have a concerted effort to understand that you can't just buy from Walmart all the time. You got to buy from these other stores and keep them people there because that's competition. And
well,
I'm pretty
people
sure,
look at prices, bro.
but I'm pretty sure that it doesn't matter. Sometimes you have to buy from them to keep them going because Walmart, as soon as all them stores left, what did Walmart do? They raised their prices. As soon as they left, I bet you they raised their prices.
Absolutely.
Okay, because there ain't no competition. So
There ain't no
I
competition no
pay
more, bro. We
pay a
only
little
got
bit pay a little bit more for the other store to keep them going, and you have to make sure that the community knows this. We got to keep this store open because there's an offset to Walmart. Because if we don't do this, Walmart gonna raise their prices on it. As soon as they go, it's immediate. As soon as Walmart saw them go, they raise them prices up. I guarantee they did, and that's what happened. Because we are in a what? A capitalistic society. Competition. Okay, Ted. Final word, sir. Take us to that last few minutes.
well, I think we done said it all today because today is labor, and we talked about how these big businesses and they're getting over, but the people is the one that's going to be hurting.
Yeah.
That's the
And they're
bottom
hurting right
line.
now.
We
And
we are the ones that's going to be hurting because
they're hurting right now.
yeah. So I appreciate the multi-millionaires and billionaires that they provide jobs and all that, but you can't be excessive. Greed is a bad thing. When you got so much money, you don't even know what to do with it. Some of you got so much money you can't even count it. You don't even know how much you got.
And Ted, it's ironic that uh, you find all these, the Treasury Secretary, the Trade Secretary, all of them, they all saying when they were being confirmed and they were questioning these folks and stuff about who needs the tax cuts. And to the person and stuff, they told the congressional people, the senators and stuff and everything, we need to put that money into those billionaires' hands. Why would you want to put some money in a billionaire's hand and they ain't buying, they ain't those job creators. The job creators is them folks down there every day who driving back and forth to work. They create them jobs. They create them because if they ain't buying your product, you can't sell shit. I don't care what crap, how much money you got in your pocket. You can have the finest store in the world, but ain't nobody walking through them doors and stuff and everything. You in trouble. Look at Macy's, finest store in the world, finest high class stuff. Ain't nobody coming to them.
Nope.
They going out of business slowly but surely, going out of business. And they done gave them
JCP, Penny
all.
gone.
They done gave them all the money in the world. Give them all the money in the world, but you ain't got your customers walking through that door. You don't understand that, then you in trouble. How do you think Ford went from a little old Model T company and stuff and everything? They understood that the people and stuff who drive the Ford manufacturing and stuff is them people who buy their cars. They can afford to buy them cars and stuff and everything. They do not exist as a company. They understood that back in the early 1900s. We done lost that.
Well, only 50 years ago,
Yeah.
only less than 50 years ago, you could buy you a brand new, nice mid-sized car for about $6,000.
Yes, sir.
Now that car done went up to 60, 70,000.
Yes, sir. And guess what, Ted? China got three car companies, electric car companies over there, and the most expensive car is $40,000. You can't buy a Tesla for less than 100.
Then son, you take it off the market, take it off the lot, it's worth 80.
Yeah, but they can still sell you. You go to China and buy that BYD car and stuff and bring it, and it's just as fine. It's got all the bell and whistles as a Tesla car does. But they only selling that daggone thing for 35, $40,000. Electric car, but they won't allow them to come to this country.
Well, Ford was gonna go all out and do electric, and then they changed their mind. Now they still gonna do a little bit of it,
Well,
but
they
somebody
are.
convinced them not to do it.
Well, they had their competition with Tesla, and Elon had a lot of money out there he was passing around to stop them. He got an electric car company. You don't need no competition here. That's what he wanted. No competition. That's what he got. And now he ain't. People can't afford to buy them cars now. Unless you do that creative financing.
That's what they're
8 years.
doing now.
8 years. You got 8 years to pay the car.
8 years for $600 a month.
Creative financing. Hey, you get you that car, you bet, cause you be paying for it for 8 years, but they didn't tell you that in about 3 years you got to replace the battery. Because the battery going out.
And that's going to cost you an arm and a leg.
An arm and a leg. And that's why they got a whole bunch of them customers sitting up there on their car lots and they can't get rid of them. The older ones. Anyway, people, we will see you guys. And everybody out there, don't eat too much barbecue and have a good day. Amen. Bye-bye.